But I was saying to him that, 10 years ago, right? I would have been like early 20s, 20, 21, 22, 23. I don't know how old I am.
23.
I would had these ideas for films, but if somebody came and said, "Hey, here's $40 million to make a movie," I would have had no idea where to start. I would have had no idea how much things cost or how to talk to the different departments to get done what I needed to get done. I'd have been in over my head, even though I had these great ideas for films.
And you got the money.
Yeah,
Right.
And so, I think if you have to be prepared for that opportunity, right? So now, after doing multiple jobs, I've done like almost every job you can do in terms of film production, from sound, lighting. I've done so many different jobs. Now I know how all the departments work. So if I had that budget, I'd be like, cool, let's make. Here's how
exactly
it goes.
what to do.
So I think it's really important that if you're nervous about starting your journey, if you're nervous about getting into a new field, that you just kind of dive in and try stuff. Like trial and error is a great way to go into it, because you got YouTube University. Like go on YouTube and
we call it
right.
YouTube University.
YouTube you can go there and learn so much faster.
Yes, absolutely. And sign up for everything you want to learn.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing now. Like, I've been doing podcasting for a while, but man, after editing, I'm like, all right, let's look at how I'm going to work on Final Cut Pro. Like, I need to learn what this is and that is. And I mean, Calvin teaches me so much.
Right.
And
Calvin's learning.
learning.
I'll be trying, like, it's levels to it. Like, way
oh my
more
gosh.
than me.
Coming here, we were like,
my head off.
to him.
The way you talk to me is the way I talk to him. It's levels to it. Like,
and I hear
bossing me up. Yeah, so, but like, I love it though. Like, once we started, we bought the camera. Yeah. And at the time, like trial and error, we thought, oh, we got a camera.
This is easy.
I'm like, we need 3 cameras now. But I'm falling asleep with the Bluetooths off of YouTube, different
Tutorials
ideas, like lighting and all that. Even though I don't have it, but I want to know what I know. It's important.
So look, it happens so fast because. Actually, Ryan, my business partner,
Ryan got the bread.
Ryan got the bread.
Shout out to Ryan.
Hey.
That's my production and all my media now. He hit me up looking for a production partner for media. Right at the time, he had just got a camera. He was doing his vlogs, and he was like, he didn't know about lighting. He did, now it's he can do anything by himself. He can run a whole show by himself.
Oh, that's right.
He can,
nice.
He gets more into the tech than I do at this point, which I love.
That's
it's
good.
funny because in my mind,
that takes off.
At the time when I met Ryan, I kept saying, and this is before I knew him, I was like, if I had somebody who could do the technical side so I could focus on the creative. Because doing both, I was doing both. And he does such a good job with that at this point. Like, it's amazing. And it's happened, it's been 5 years, but he picked it up really within the first year and a half. He was like, he was proficient at everything.
See.
So, it happens faster than you think it would. I know in the beginning it's tough and you feel like, man, this is just so much work. But you'll get it. You'll create a workflow and figure out. The one thing I would caution you with is booking your guests. Give yourself some time. So there's 2 ways you could do this. You could either record all your content and then go back and edit it, which is one way, because then you can control the flow of the releases and how you want to do it.
Yep.
Or you have to be careful how far out you book your guests. If you want to have it come out in a timely fashion, like if you want to record it, then release it. If you start doing that, you're gonna pile on top of yourself.
I've learned that. I think with this podcast was so I think was different with me. I'm on my own time with this one. Well, I'm on Calvin's time too.
My time is your time.
He's gassing. But that's what I learned, and it's just like, no, I've listened to so many podcasts who have podcasts just to show people how to run podcasts. Because if you want to get into this podcast world, you got to study it. Yes. You want to get into this, you got to study it. So when people just want to get into it, like, oh, I want to do this and that, like, no, I do this. Like, I study this. I read up on it. I invest in this. I look for ways to better the podcast. I figure out what is a XLR mic. Right. Like, I'm looking into what does it need to be plugged into? How do I work a switchboard or whatever, Yeah. So I really study it. But one thing I've learned completely is, when it's on my time, I book my guests once a month. Like, no, this lady I listen to, her podcast is really teaching people how to run their podcast. And she said, I don't even do twice a month. She said, I'm not here to get followers and guests. I'm here to help people and put out good content.
Right.
She was like, you want to do that 2-3 times a month? That's cool. But you will put out quantity with no quality.
Right.
And when you want to put out quality, you need to pace yourself because you have real life too.
Saying. Yeah.
Pace
Especially
yourself.
for the type that you do.
Yeah. Like, and I want quality at all times.
I think if you keep, like, if you look at it like, yo, I got to drop every week,
every
then you're
2
going to start
weeks.
doing
Yourself
interviews
out.
with irrelevant
topics.
yes, like you like, oh
Just
yeah,
to
just
have a
somebody
guest
to sit
on.
across from you, like,
Right.
Just to talk.
like just have bangers, drop bangers, and
Yeah, I've always been a fan of quality over quantity.
Yes.
The struggle for us was to how do you do both, and that's what and I think as you first you master the quality, and then you can work on how you can create more. And I think that's really, I think a lot of people focus on the quantity first, but I feel like it's important to get a good sense of quality and then dive into the quantity.
YouTube tells you have to keep putting content. I'm like, yo,
I don't have time. I need to feed my kids.
But even just be consistent. You don't have to be consistent every week. Just consistent with like your audiences.
Right.
You promised your audience, hey, once a month, do it once a month.
Right.
And you know what? That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
but like we're at the learning stage, and I'm glad we're getting this out now because we got something. We working, cause
they working.
I ain't gonna say
We're working after the edit button to save, but we're working. We have
Speaking of work,
Don't you wanna feel